So before starting out, you're supposed to ask yourself 3 questions or simply get clarified with the pie chart. And I'm saying pie chart, it simply means purpose, influence and experience. Purpose. Why do you want to start a podcast? Is it you want to tell a story? Or maybe you want to tell other people's story? Or you want to sell a product? Maybe just want to share your expertise with the people. Second, influence. What is the influence you want to leave people with? Is it you want to provide some motivation? You want them to buy your sustainable fashion clothes? Or you want some more peace in the world? Or you simply want them to buy your products? It can be anything. So then clarify it with your influence. What is the one thing that you want your people to live with? Last but not the least, what is the experience you want to give your people? Is it the feeling of the motivation, inspiration, laughter, joy, sadness, success? It can be anything. What is a particular experience you want to give your people? Is it you want to take them to a fantasy world of stories? Or maybe you want them to create a better understanding of the world around you? So first, get clarified with your pie chart. Next, you're ready to start your podcast. So let's start with choosing a niche. Take a pen and a paper and write down the topics that you feel more passionate about. And if you are an entrepreneur or a brand, things are going to be a little easy for you. Once you're done with deciding the topic and category for your podcast, take some time to do some research. For example, you want to create a podcast on business tips. Chances are there are other podcasters who want to create the podcast on similar topic. As a podcast host, you want to stand out from the crowd or maybe be the king in your niche. So you can do is to narrow down your topic or be more specific. Like you can create a podcast on business tips for young entrepreneurs or business tips for small business owners. This will make you the king in your content, in your genre, in your niche. So take some time, do some research and choose a very specific niche. Once you're done with choosing the niche, you can start editing your script. To edit a script, you can divide into the 4 major segments. First, pre-intro. When I'm saying pre-intro, it's simply how you create the curiosity or ask question to make or create the interest for your audience. Generally, people listen to a podcast which always start with a question or some curiosity which appeal people to listen to the podcast further. So in the pre-intro, always try to create some question or create some curiosity through a story or something like that. Second, intro. First of all, always try to differentiate the segment. So you can add little transition of music from pre-intro to intro. In intro, either you can introduce the purpose of your show or you can introduce yourself as a host. And if a dialogue or interview session, try to introduce your guest as detailed as much possible. Third, your main content. So it can be the monologue, dialogue or an interview session. So this is the content or this is the part of the script where you have to work a lot, especially if it's a dialogue, because you have to work and research a lot on your guest. Try to know them better and as much as you can, because this will help you to ask relevant questions which can be valuable for people to know. And again, it's a monologue. You have to research about the topic, you have to write some articles or watch some YouTube videos which will help you to create a unique content that will be either valuable, entertaining or educational for people. Fourth, your postscript. Always try to add a call to action in your postscript. And I'm saying call to action, it simply means adding your podcast with a thank you note where you're thanking your audience, your listeners or your guest, and always add a call to action, which means you can ask your audience to subscribe your podcast or to give a review or to give an honest feedback. Especially if you're an entrepreneur or an author who want to sell a product or a book, always tell them and navigate them where they can buy their book from. Now you're done with choosing the niche and creation of the script. Congrats, you're becoming more closer to become a great podcast. I know talking to the people all around the world might seem a very excited, fun-loving and easy process for you, but behind the scenes takes lots of courage, hard work and time to have this great minds on your show. And to keep this process simple and easy, you can start by creating a pitch. When I'm saying creating a pitch, it doesn't mean copy and pasting the similar pitch to every guest. Be personalized with everyone. To create an effective pitch, you can follow a few steps. To start with an effective pitch, you can divide it into 4 to 5 segments, which will help you to invite your guest faster and easily. First, always add the name of your guest. Irrespective of which field, industry, age, or persona he or she belongs to, always try to add the name of the person. This will leave an everlasting impression on the person, even for the first time. Second, start your note with a thank you or a praising session. For example, you can praise them for the kind of values or profession they are in. As a host, it's your duty to make your guests feel special. Always try to flatter them or praise them a bit. When I'm saying flatter, it doesn't mean that you have to be very cheesy and unrealistic with your words. Be genuine as much as you can possible. Try to research about them and find out what great they have done in their life, what kind of achievements they have received, and just mold your words into a thank you note or a praising session, something like that. Third, excitement. Your words are literally the reflection of your energy. As a host, it's your duty to show some energy, to put some great vibe for your guests. Show them the excitement, show them that value, show them that importance that you really want to have those people on your show. And always add the purpose of your show. It's really important to align your guests with your values and purpose. Chances are you end up sending the pitch to the wrong guest. I remember while sending a pitch to one of my guests, he humbly declined. Instead, he connected me with the right person for the kind of topic and discussion I want to have on my show. And that led to a great episode with a great number of downloads. So chances are this can happen with you also. Always end your pitch with a call to action. When I'm saying call to action, it simply means inviting your guest or maybe asking them for a quick call or a quick chat before the recording so you can understand them better, and this will help you to ask the relevant questions for the listeners. Also, you can consider connecting with your guests on the social media platforms like Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Depends what kind of guest you want to have in your show, like for business and more professional purposes, you can consider LinkedIn, and for artistic and other field, you can consider Instagram. Also, you can connect with a PR agency which will help you to connect with the celebrities, and personal references works like magical. Second, chances are the success rate might be 30:1 or 20:1 initially, which means that you end up sending 30 mails or 40 mails, just 50 messages a day, and just end up having with one reply. Don't lose hope. It's just the beginning. Till the time when your intention is right and you're able to effectively communicate, this ratio will decrease, and chances are that can be a reality. You end up having the conversation with the best celebrities around the world. Initially, when you're starting a podcast without your team, your biggest asset is your time, energy, and your creativity, and you want to use 3 of them very well. So what you can do is create an email template. Once you're done with sending a pitch over social media platforms, and once you're done with connecting your guest, you want to send them more details or provide more information about your show, or maybe you want to exchange some information around the topic or the kind of conversation you want to have. What you can do is to create a simple template which you can use again and again and for every guest, with the minimal changes like name or the kind of profession they are involved in or the kind of conversation you want to have. So always try to create a template, whether it's over mail or any other platform. This will save lots of your manual work, your energy, and especially your time. So don't forget to do that and create an effective template which you can use over mail, emails, or any other. Once you become a famous podcaster and a global icon, that you will, chances are lots of advertisers end up approaching you to add a certain product or to advertise certain news or event on your show, and maybe you'll get a lot of sponsorship ads and get money for that we'll discuss later in the course. So the point is, what you can do to create a 30 minutes, that's too much, it's 30 seconds or 20 seconds load on your show. When I'm saying 20 seconds or 30 seconds, it's simply advertising that particular product or particular event or the particular person or course or anything like that. So you can divide into the 3 segments: pre-roll, mid-roll, and post-roll. By pre-roll, I simply means adding that particular 30 seconds or 20 seconds of snippets of the advertisements or the events or the news at the very beginning of your show. Like at the pre-intro or intro. Similarly, at the mid-roll, you can creatively add that snippet somewhere in the main content while having the conversation with your guest or during the monologue, something like that. And for the post-roll, it end up on the call to action or maybe the thank you note. Similarly, you will be paid according the kind of role you're assigning to that particular advertisement. Chances are at the beginning of the show, that particular listener or end user is going to listen it more. So you'll end up having a lot of more money while advertising that particular product at the beginning of your show. So decide accordingly and do not add or overload the listeners with lots of advertisements or something like that, because this will be annoying. Your main purpose should be to provide the value, and yeah, you can add 1 or 2 advertisements somewhere in the show. That's it. So before moving further, if you feel like I'm able to add even 4%, maybe 0.0001% value to your podcast journey, please take some time to leave a review for the Udemy course, and also you can listen to the Trend Diet podcast or Spotify, Google and Apple podcast. And if you have any query for the course, and if you want to personally interact with me or have some conversation, you can anytime DM me over the Instagram page of Trend Diet. Let's move further.